Question: how much will this no spend, quote, end of quote, weekend actually cost you? Oh, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on this channel, the Save Money More Jan channel. How are you today? Happy Saturday. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You wait around all week long. In fact, I believe I might be posting a tune. Either I posted it on Friday or today, all about waiting for the weekend. It's a 1960s tune. You'll see it when I list it. Let's get back to the beginning title here. How much will this no spend, quote, end of quote, weekend actually cost? Cost is a relative term. Right away, when we think of cost, we presume more than not that we're talking about money, right? Like food costs money, clothing costs money, practically everything costs money. But there are some things that cost in a different manner. We also do things that may cost us our time, our effort, and our energy. Do you sweat over the thought of having a quote, end of quote, no spend weekend? Now, some people may say, I don't even think twice about it, or I do this at least once or twice a month. Well, that's just a way of life. Those are some people. And some people, if I say the two words to them, no spend, three, excuse me, no spend weekend, three words, no spend weekend to them, they're looking at me like with a cringe face. No spend. I don't know why we are taught to think that every weekend has to be a big spend weekend. Now, sometimes some people are better off. They're totally okay with a no spend weekend. And I'm going to read to you what Mr. Computer that I checked on said about no spend weekend officially. I'm going to read that to you momentarily when I looked up the question that I had. But then again, there are some people who may fare very well with a lesser spend or a small spend or a low spend weekend. That's more realistic for that person. Because sometimes if you say to a person, you cannot do this, absolutely zero, no, 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 clear cut, zero, they want to run. I'm telling you, they want to head for the hills. I'm just saying, put on the hiking boots. And then there are some people are more like, well, they're okay, what by putting their little, their big toe actually in the water and going, okay, I'm okay with just, having at least a little wiggle room. That is way better. Some people cannot live with absolutes. You see where I'm going with this. So I decided to ask Mr. Computer or Mr. Phone or whatever you want to call it, Mr. Search Engine. How about that? Whatever you want to call it. I have no idea, but I looked it up. Okay, so I'm just playing around with those names. So I wanted to know officially, okay, officially what a no spend weekend can offer. So here we go. Maybe if you have your cup of coffee, you may want to take a sip or two or butter some bread or eat some popcorn. Depends on what time of the day you're listening to this. All right. But here's the official answer that I got when I checked. A no spend weekend can offer several financial benefits, including increased savings. I like that. Reduced stress. I love that. And improve financial habits. Yay, yay, yay. By conscientiously or consciously, excuse me, I twisted that word around, by consciously avoiding non essential spending, you can free up money for other priorities like debt repayment. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Emergency funds. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or saving for a vacation. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. It also encourages more thoughtful spending decisions. That's true. And can lead to a greater appreciation for what you already have. I love that last line, lead to a greater appreciation for what you already have. I wonder how many of us listening sort of take the stuff around us that we have all the time for granted. Hmm. Mm-mm. Something to chew on, right? On this weekend or any other day for that matter. So then it goes on to say, here's a more detailed breakdown of the benefits. Okay. Saving money. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. A no spend weekend can help you save money that would otherwise be spent on impulse purchases or non essential items. This saved money can be redirected towards financial goals like paying off debt or building an emergency fund. How many times have you gotten together with friends, maybe kind of had like a lukewarm feeling about accepting the invitation to, spend a Saturday afternoon with certain people, automatically it is definitely a very much of a spending day. Well, I worked hard all week. It is my right to spend tons of money. Okay, if that's how you feel about it. All right. So, how many times has that happened? Probably a bunch of times. We're all human. I mean, at least maybe once in a great while, it has happened to every single one of us. But to do this all the time, if your income is not the greatest and you're just making minimum payments on your credit card, I would definitely think twice about that. It goes on to say reducing stress. Now, I love this idea, okay? Because, we live in a very stressful environment. We do. You turn on the negative news, like I just said, negative news. Wouldn't it be nice to turn on some happy news for a change? But happy news doesn't sell as well as negative news. Don't ask me why. I couldn't answer that. But reducing stress by consciously choosing, get the word there, by consciously choosing, that's an actionable step, okay? That is a choice. By consciously choosing not to spend, you may feel less pressure to make purchases and less guilt about spending money on things you don't need. How many people out there listening have ever felt guilty about a purchase? You really, really thought at the store or wherever you are, online or in person, and you right away make a purchase, and then you can't wait to get it, and then you do get it, and you're like, and it just sits there collecting dust and cobwebs. And then months go by, and you're still walking by it. It's like, didn't I ever take that thing out of the box? And why did I buy this thing? I'm sure more than one person listening has gone through that, including yours truly. Yes, 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 yes. I'm not saying often, but I'm saying it has happened to me in the past for sure. Not so much now. I'm very conscientious. All right, next. Improving financial habits. Well, I like this idea. A no spend weekend can help you become more aware of your spending habits and make more mindful decisions about your money. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, that makes a ton of sense, and we are all for improvement. Next, more time for other things. Oh, now this I like a lot. Time is something, when you lose it, you don't get it back. Sorry. It's not like money. You lose it, you're mad at yourself. You could kick a tire or two, but you could go out, get a job, and make that money and replace it. Am I right or am I right? Yes. Money's replaceable. People are not replaceable. And time is certainly not replaceable. I'm just saying. So let's go back to this. More time for other things without the distraction of shopping. You may have more time and energy to focus on other activities like personal growth, hobbies, or spending time with loved ones. And they're all equally important. Personal growth is important. Having a hobby is fun, okay? Fun, okay? Fun is good, okay? Doing your own thing is a good thing. Or spending time with loved ones. There is no price tag on the last one. Zero. Zero. Zippity do. No. Nothing more important um, than spending time with loved ones. Okay. Increase financial awareness. Now, some people live I could care less lifestyle. It doesn't matter if they know what's going on financially. Throw that spaghetti against the wall, and hopefully it'll stick, huh? I don't know if that's a great idea. Nah, I know that's not a good idea. So a no spend weekend can actually help you track your spending and gain a better understanding of where your money goes. I'm so glad I looked this up. This is really, really informative. A no spend weekend can help you track your spending and gain a better understanding of where your money goes. Yes. Yes. And of course, the next one says developing a better budget. By observing your spending habits during a no spend weekend, you can identify areas where you might be able to save more money and create a more effective budget. This was amazing. Very, very good information there. I mean, like I said, the word cost, when I mentioned at the beginning of this show, what is cost to you besides financial cost? Cost of time, cost of effort, cost of energy. I mean, it's all important. We need to make the most of these things and having this information and actually implementing it. On one of my recent uploads or recordings, because I'm always recording, I mentioned that, for example, let's say you really want a no spend weekend, right? Because you want to plan ahead to save some money for the following month's bills. Remember that video? Well, I suggested this on one of the no spend weekends. You could go around your home or apartment or whatever space you're living in, because today people are very creative about their dwelling spaces, wherever you basically reside. Okay. Look around you. What can you sell? All right, that's important. Like while you're decluttering, look at the stuff and go, well, yeah, I want to get rid of it, but it's valuable to someone else. So you could either donate it to charity, of course, or to sell it if your finances need it. So if your finances need it, hey, give it a whirl. There are so many selling options today. Well, there's also spending options today. But what I want to drive the point at, there are so many online platforms to sell your items. My tongue is twisting. But we have a lot of choices because we live in a world of choices. So the question begs, how much will this no spend weekend actually cost?